Can you shout at your children? Well, the answer is yes, of course you can. But the question is, does shouting at your children impact on you if you are in family court, and does it impact on you negatively? How does the family court view that? The family court views anything where the children get upset as concerning. So if you're shouting at your children, if you shout at your children sort of once in a while, and that shouting is not aggressive, that shouting is you just trying to assert some authority, the court isn't going to have a huge amount of concern over that. But if your shouting is aggressive, if your shouting is bombarding your children with bad language, if your shouting is you towering over them in order to impose your will on them, at that point the court is going to have some concerns. And at that point, you potentially are going to put yourself on the radar of social services. Because if the children are going into school and recounting tales about the fact that mum or dad is always shouting at them and calling them names, and they feel threatened by that, they feel bullied by that, they feel scared by that, you're going to put yourself on a radar, and the court is going to be concerned and possibly act with that information. So what does that tell us? What that tells us is that occasionally it is necessary to raise your voice to your children. And if you watch the parenting apps, the parenting podcasts, the parenting programs that talk about how it is you should conduct yourself with your children, there are very few that say shouting is a good idea. But we live in a real world, and in the real world we do shout at our children. But let's just ensure that we are raising our voices rather than shouting, because shouting is an aggressive act. Raising our voices is just the pursuit of trying to get them to hear.